Welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Primary Arms. How's everybody doing tonight? Bueller?
Doing great.
Bueller?
Doing good if I get my back to quit hurting. Oh, shit. Sorry. Hold on. That was my bad. That's my fault.
What's your fault?
I forgot to mute YouTube.
Way to go, Jim.
Yep, that's my fault. Anyway, I'm doing all right if I get my back to quit hurting.
What's wrong with your back?
I went to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
Today, I've actually felt worse than I had before I went. But anyway, I've been working very lightly, easily, on the zinc melter. I bought, you know how when you use these turkey fryers, that's what it is, a double burner turkey fryer. But you know how it is, the wind blows with these turkey fryers, it just blows your heat away. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put sheet metal skirts around the bottom of the turkey fryer legs to keep the wind off of it. And I picked up some of the sheet metal I need. Now I just got to get some nice stainless steel bolts, 1/4 bolts to drill and tap the legs and put the holes in the sheet metal to create some sort of windscreen around the bottom of the turkey fryers. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like two-step ladder. One burner is 12 inches off the ground. One burner is 18 inches off the ground. But anyway, how about you, Chris? What haven't you done in Guns Reloading this week?
I haven't been able to get out to shoot because of the lovely weather.
Oh, okay.
But did some reloading. Like I was telling you guys, I got some of those new Sub-X 190 grains in for the 308 to shoot suppressed. Got 5 loaded of each. Still trying to finish my 30-30 load development so I can share that info with Mike and Travis to see where we're all kind of comparing notes. And then I got some bullets, some stuff's starting to come in for people. Then, of course, other stuff's getting pushed further and further out.
You say you're going to use that 190 grain. Now, you told me off the air that was actually a 308 bullet.
Yeah. When Hornady came out with that Sub-X, just so everybody can see that.
Hold it up there. Hold it up for 1 second, Chris. Okay, go ahead, please.
I've had these on back order for the better part of a year and finally got one of my distributors to say, hey, we got a bunch in. Do you still want them? Well, yeah. Got them in. So I had some Trail Boss. I got some 4895. So I'm just going basically right off the published data. It's pretty specific. Like I think it's 10.5 for the Trail Boss and 13.3 for the 4895. There's really no right or left limit. It's pretty specific. So I kind of want to see what that's going to do. I'm kind of excited.
No, you're talking about shooting it in 300 Blackout.
No, 308.
Yeah, 10 grains of H4895.
Yep.
10 plus grains in 308?
Yep. Their specific load data from Hodgdon calls for 10.5 for that bullet with Trail Boss, and then for 4895 it's 13.3. They got a couple other powders on here, but I didn't have them on hand, so
okay.
I'll just
be very
kind of
careful
curious to see where it's going.
Be careful with that, please.
Oh yeah, because I looked over on their load data for pressure. The 4895 they've got 16.6, and then the Trail Boss, I was like, yep, you can definitely tell a difference. Basically just a hair over 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, we'll see where it goes. I'll be careful.
How about you, Nick? You got anything going?
Sold one of my old presses last week. That's about it, really. Gonna take that money. It was my dad's old one he gave me when he got a new one. So I'll take that money and get my new one.
What was it?
It was the old value aluminum Lee 4 turret.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna get the new cast Lee turret.
There you go.
So the problem with what we had was I was gonna use this press worked great, but when he upgraded, we come to find out that we had to reset our dies from the old because the opening,
Yep.
your workspace was different. So we had to reset everything. And I don't want it to where, say, I'm borrowed a set of dies from him to load something. I got to set them and then he's got to reset them. So I'm like, I'll just sell the press and get it all new. Get a new press so we don't have to worry about that. But
Well, when you first borrow your first set of dice from your dad, Nick, make sure that you don't have to do exactly what you didn't want to do.
mm-hmm. Oh, I
You
will.
know, double sets, reset.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this has got to gone. This guy's gone. Mike, all right. Nope, I missed.
You got him, Jim?
Yep.
Hey.
I see one more. Okay, I think I got him.
Fabulous. No. Anyway. Excuse me.
Can't
So
get
is
me,
it-
I can't get rid of the channel, Mike. But if I do, if the only way to do that's for me to refresh my screen.
Go ahead and refresh it.
Then, all right. Well, carry on.
Because see, if I refresh, did he refresh it or did he close it? I don't think
Probably
he
refreshed and it reset everything.
Yeah.
Be back.
Anyway.
I
All of the
love those
things, Idaho
Marines.
Rogers, all of the things. Well, I posted 2 or 3 podcasts because the editor
Outstanding,
finally
Mike.
quit slacking.
It's so hard to get a good editor.
I know, right? Especially when they work for free. Oh. But I got you stuff that should keep you busy for a week or so. I put 6 or 7 up last night.
Jeez. Well, there goes any free time I had for shooting.
Oh no. Your life comes first. If you have time to edit. So shout out to Rob down at Hunt Shoot Off Road. Make sure you swing down there and say hi and check out his page. He's got the Brass Goblin. You gotta go check out the Brass Goblin stuff. So we've switched countries on the spammers. Got him. So John W wants to know, does anybody have any experience with bulk 308 Aguila brass? I'm guessing that's what he wanted was Aguila and not Aguilar. So, but I have not. The only thing I've ever shot from Aguila is our 22 stuff, which is actually really good. So, but I don't know. Other than posting the podcast, that's pretty much it. My desk, my reloading bench is still a freaking mess. My reloading room is still a freaking mess. So, meh. What? The X10's finally out to ship? What? Wait, what?
He lied to me.
You mean they're all sold out because Travis bought every one of them?
Probably. That's why he's not on tonight. Glenn Easton wants to know about primer supply. It's still crap. So for now, anyway. There's a announcement of a place in Texas that's going to be making some primers, possibly some others. But yeah, I don't see it getting any better anytime in the near future. So,
Well, I like what Chris Sharp said yesterday. We got good news on the black powder scene.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was pretty awesome news.
I'm not a
they're
black
talking
powder guy, but I saw that and I was like, that's pretty nice to see.
Yeah, that is important to see. Even though there's a bunch of aftermarket stuff, it's still important to see actual black powder available.
Well, and them upgrading the facility, that's the big thing.
That's the huge thing, is they're going to upgrade the facility. So, I mean, I'm sure we're going to probably look at a little higher cost per pound, but at the same time, you know, we're looking at more consistent stuff too. So, bum, bum. So, what the hell's twist rate?
Isn't that what Chubby Checker did back in the day?
Yes. Exactly. You've got it. You nailed it, Sharp, right there.
Well, twist rate, simply put, is the rate of spin in a barrel and how it represents in inches per turn.
Okay.
Simply.
Or turns per.
Or turns per. Yeah.
Is it turns per inch or inch per turn?
I believe I thought it was inch per turn.
Inch per turn, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like for instance, a 1 in 7s, 1 revolution for every 7 inches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which means lower the number, the faster the twist. So 1 in
Absolutely.
7 is faster than, say, a 1 in 12.
Indeed.
What happened to 1 and 3?
That
What
would
do you
be
mean,
that
what happened to
new
1 and 3?
8.6 blackout.
Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? It's crazy.
Oh.
1 revolution every 3 inches. You'll be
Have
spinning
you
the
seen
rifling
the
right out
inside
that
of
gun.
that barrel, Jim?
I looked down at the shot. It was insane.
You'll be spinning the rifling right out of that thing with heavy loads.
So, to give you an idea, I'm going to show you a 1 in 7 twist.
Please do.
So that's a 1 in 7 twist. So that's a 1 in 7 twist. Whoops. And now we're out.
What are you inside of, Mike? What caliber? What?
5.56.
5.56 is an AR.
Yep.
Okay.
Pistol barrel.
Okay, so it's only probably what, 12-inch barrel, maybe
10.5.
10 and a half.
So
Looks to be
basically,
in pretty good shape. Looks to be in pretty good shape.
it's never been on anything.
That's why.
Yep. Look at that chamber.
Ooh, shiny. I see reflection of the chamber.
Yeah. So that's a 1 in 7 twist.
Mike, go back down in the chamber for a few minutes, please. It looks like a human eye, and the iris of a human eye almost. But anyway, what I wanted to point out is that I see a striation on the right side of my right side of the screen, over towards the chat, the public chat. I see striations like that. Does that happen to be an H&K barrel?
Nope.
Okay. But anyway, okay, I have to reflection from whatever you've got outside, whatever your light source is. That's what I'm seeing. But anyway, thank you. That's what I really wanted to point out was how polished that chamber is. That's why our brass comes out in such good shape. When it comes out of that gun, it's going to be, the brass is going to have a gloss to it. It may tarnish and all that sort of thing, but it's going to look pretty good when it comes out. Unless it gets smacks into the ejection port.
Yeah.
Looking good, Mikey. Boy, you should see some of the rough stuff we've already seen tonight. When these two lads decide to bring out their bore scopes.
So
So
yeah,
you want to
that's
look at one of the straightest bores you can probably get that has rifling.
yeah.
Let me plug the camera back in. So this is a 1 72 inch.
72.
Yep,
That's what you showed us earlier, Nick.
it is.
Okay.
Let's see. Come on. Why is it not wanting to work? Maybe it's. Hang on. That could be why.
You don't have a light source. It looks like.
I'm not getting the light I was getting earlier.
I know. I know you have it.
Does your camera have a brightness adjustment on it? Most of them do.
Not on the one that when I'm connected to the computer.
No, it should be on the actual camera cord somewhere.
Not on
Check.
this one. There's not. Oh, hang on. Maybe there's. There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
You guys notice the yellow color, the brownish red color of that rifling he's going down inside of. That rifle's been neglected. Boy, it's a neat thing to actually go down somebody's board like that.
Nick, which one is this you're showing again?
This is a 1861 British Schneider. So I don't think this one's not long enough to get all the way to the chamber, but
Is this one that you use regularly?
I just picked this up actually in Vegas. You can see not very pretty, very shallow rifling. You can see how straight it all was. So I'll try to follow along one, see if this.
Yeah, you say that rifle is vintage or circa 1861?
So the lock on the side is 1861 dated.
Okay, that's when you showed us last week.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, that's how the rifle's been neglected from time to time, we think, because of the condition of the bore. We're talking about the rust staining and stuff like that. But that all comes from you just using black powder, not improper cleaning procedure. Have you even cleaned the rifle yourself, Nick?
I have not. I'll probably do that this weekend when I'm buried in the snow.
I just find it very, very interesting seeing it going down in there.
Vanessa Kitty asked Nick if you could move just a little bit slower so
Let me see if I can try
they
something.
can take a look.
Let me hang on 1 second. Try to use this. Okay.
John's hand loading. You need to behave, you rascal. I won't even highlight that comment. Yeah, just go a little slower, Nick. It'd be less dizzying.
Who's being naughty?
John's hand loading. John's hand loading. He's been misbehaving.
So is that literally straight rifling, Nick?
It pretty much is because I think the barrel's about 30 inches on this thing. So
Wow. That's only half a revolution.
pretty much.
Oof. I think I need to clean this thing.
Yeah, I'll probably run a patch and some cleaner down this, even though I don't know how much work it's going to get done to it. But
I was just putting it down my Canic barrel. So
but yeah, that's how straight some of the early rifling was.
and then some of it wasn't. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna. This is where I wish I had the mirror set.
Let me see if I can get mine. Hang on, I'll put my mirror on.
Oh, while you're doing that. So this here is my 1914 Remington Model 14 and 35 rem.
Okay, that's 6 flute.
So you'll notice the rifling isn't as pronounced.
Right. Now it's now I see what 12 flutes.
Yeah. Oh, that's because I got it centered in it.
Okay.
So that's the problem, is this doesn't have the mirror set. So it doesn't fit down nicely. But so that gives you an idea on that. And then we pull that out and we put it in a pistol that obviously frickin' needs to be cleaned. And I guess I didn't clean it the last time I went to the range. But trying to keep it centered. So then you can see how the pistol rifling is different.
Yeah, can you try to hold it still, Mike? If not,
I'm trying to get it back centered into the picture.
I understand.
So.
Well, we're looking at the breech face of the bolt.
Yep.
See the firing pin hole. I see a flake of rust or something on the side of your barrel.
Yeah.
You'll get it.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to clean it. So, but I mean, that kind of gives you a basic idea of what a twist rate looks like for different options. And see if Nick's back. Nope, not yet.
I think 22 rimfires usually goes 112, maybe 114.
16.
116. That was my next number.
That is your standard twist rate for rimfire is 1 in 16.
There we
I
go.
don't even know what the standard rate is in pistol.
There we go. Nick's got a plumber's nightmare to bring up.
So you can see my thumb here. I'm at the end of the muzzle, the bore.
Yep.
So one thing you got to look for on black powder guns is usually the first couple inches you will have no rifling. That's most of them are always fouled out at the very end.
Yeah.
You can see right here, I'm starting to grab some rifling.
Tell me, Nick, where does the rifling go? Seriously.
It's way actually. If you look at like a kind of like an M1 Garand, no, the CMP always had it. From you gauge the muzzle and the chamber.
Right.
It's the same way with black powder.
No, what I mean is, why is there no rifling? What happens to it?
I think it just over time that's unburnt powders starting to corrode away.
Okay, corrosion.
So
I see bright shiny metal, but I also see lots of pitting.
But yeah, it's a very shallow rifling too. So
yeah.
So I'll probably do is I'll probably slug this bore, and I'll try to oversize my bullets, maybe 1 or 2 thousandths from bore slugging.
Yep.
It tries to grab onto that a little bit better.
On Shoot Off Road just said fill them with copper. Fill the rust holes with copper.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, how wide is that particular land that you're showing us there, Nick?
Oh, gosh. I have no idea off the top of my head. Well, I'll be able to tell you once I slug this bore. So.
Okay. It looks pretty wide, but again, I'm going by the scale of what I'm seeing. Those pits are probably minuscule.
Yeah,
so
you can see there's
just a lot of them. Go ahead, Mike.
Let's see here.
Hold it still for 1 second, Nick. Just hold it still. That's a good place to hold it.
Where did...
Thank you, Nick.
Okay. So Michael Dunn had a question way back. He said, can someone tell me the twist rate on a Remington 7400 308? Is it 1 in 10 or 1 in 12? So Michael Dunn, we're going to teach you how to do it. The only thing is I don't have a cleaning rod, so I'm not actually going to show you how to do it. But I will give you an idea. Of course, I put the barrel away. So, damn it. Get back here.
Hang on, Mike. I can switch cameras. This rod's kind of a good example.
Yeah, that'd be a good example. You want a cleaning rod with a twist handle on it. But what you're going to do is you're going to stuff it down the barrel after you mark a foot.
This one out of the way.
So you're going to stick it all the way down the barrel, pull it back out, and mark a foot from the handle to, or stick it all the way down the barrel, mark that at the end of the muzzle, and then start to pull it back out. And you're going to mark off a foot. Let me get the question out of that.
Nick, hold. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so as you can see, he's got the muzzle right there. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to pretend that's a cleaning rod. You're going to stick that all the way down, and then you're going to draw a mark on the cleaning rod right there where it meets.
Right.
Okay. Then you're going to pull it out, and you're going to mark down the rod towards the brush another mark at a foot.
Right.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to push the rod back into the bore to that first mark, to that second mark again. You're going to count how many, basically if you put like a piece of masking tape on here and make a flag, that's usually an easy way to do it. And what I mean by making a flag is you take and literally you wrap it around the rod and then have it stick together. So it makes like a little flag on a flagpole.
Mm-hmm.
But then what you're going to do is you're going to grab just the handle, and this only works if it's got a bearing in it so it rotates. Then you're going to pull that rod back up till you get back to that second mark and count how many times that flag spins.
One point Mike forgot at the very beginning of this monologue.
Actually, no, I told you backwards.
Oh, that's okay. But one point you forgot that's important. You want to put a tight fitting patch on the end of your cleaning rod so that it actually engages the rifling to rotate with the withdrawal of the cleaning rod.
What I'll usually do is I'll use the brush and then throw a cleaning
Yes, and like I said, tight fitting
patch on it. But what I did is I screwed up. You're not going to measure a foot. So you're going to put that first mark, forget that second mark. Put the rod all the way down, make your first mark, make your flag, and then you're going to slowly pull it out and you're going to watch that flag. When it gets around one full rotation, then you make your mark and you measure the distance between the first mark and the second mark. Sorry, I had a cranial rectal inversion. And I realized it right before John actually started typing that I had a cranial rectal inversion. So John's hand loading says you watch it spin. When it goes around once, you measure how far it went. That's the twist rate.
Right. Another way I usually do is I use a black Sharpie, make a fine point on the line 12, 14, 16 inches long. And I just watch that mark. When that mark rotates one turn, you're doing the same thing as making a tape flag.
Yep. I can't draw that straight for that long, though, so I do the tape flag. So.
Well, you just use a Sharpie and lay your fingers alongside. You'd be surprised how easy it is.
Yep. So this is a little article from Chuck Hawks. By the way, if you don't know who Chuck Hawks is, you need to Google it. And if you've never read any of their articles, you need to. Period. End of story. Full stop. Fix yourself. Thanks. Quote from Paul Markle. By the way, if you don't listen to him, you should. Fix yourself. Anyway, so inside of a rifle barrel, there are spiral grooves called rifling, as we've just showed you. These are intended to spin the bullet to keep it stable, point on, without wobbling or tumbling during its flight to the target. The tighter the spiral grooves, the faster the bullet spins. The tightness of the spiral is called the twist rate. So you've heard us say 1 in 10, 1 in 12, 1 in 3. So basically what a 1 in 10 is that bullet will spin once for every 10 inches it travels down the bore. So the new 8.6, it's making one full rotation every 3 inches in the barrel. That's ridiculous. So the caliber, length, shape, and velocity of the bullet determine its optimum twist rate. The standard twist for a rifle barrel is designed to stabilize the range of bullets and velocities normally associated with that particular cartridge out to a very long range. Spinning a bullet markedly too slow or too fast is detrimental to accuracy. Here's an example. Had a guy into the store, and he was pissed off about his Remington rifle. So he bought a Remington in 223, and he had some people that were experts that were at the range with him that day, and he said that the bullets were keyholing. So what keyholing is so pretend this is actually just a bullet instead of a whole cartridge, because I want it a little bigger to show. So if your twist rate's proper, then it's spinning and it goes along fine like a spiral. Okay. Whee! Just like Tom freaking Brady threw it, or Aaron freaking Rodgers, or Bart Starr, or Johnny Unitas, or whoever you want to use as your favorite quarterback, just like they threw it, it goes straight through the air. What happens if you don't have the right twist rate and you spin it way too fast or way too slow? And in this case, with this 223, it was way too slow. What happens is when that bullet gets out the barrel, it looks like a wounded duck. So, those passes that they throw every once in a while, they either get tipped at the line or they flutter all over the place. So basically what happens is that bullet, remember, pretending this is a whole bullet, comes out the barrel and it starts to tumble. So instead of just spinning like this, it flips like this and goes all over the place. So when it hits the target, instead of going through the target like this, it hits the target like this. And it looks like an old-fashioned keyhole. So that's what the keyholing is and where the term came from. The key definition is destabilized. So basically what happens with a 5.56/223, in this case it was strictly 223 Remington, is there is a certain bullet weight range designed for each twist rate. So basically what you're looking at is like my 1-in-7 twist. The faster the twist, the heavier the bullet. The slower the twist, the lighter the bullet. That's your basic rule. Now, what I mean by slower, a 1-in-7 twist is a lot faster than 1-in-12 twist, because in a 1-in-7, it rotates in 7 inches. In a 1-in-12, it doesn't rotate until it hits 12 inches. So you're spinning it faster in that smaller. So normally, think of it kind of like golf scores. The lower the number, the faster it is. The lower the number, the better in golf. The lower the number, the faster it is. And anyway, that didn't work out very well for an analogy. Anyway, but what happens is when you have a 1-in-12 twist rate, like this gentleman had in his, because Remington never made a Model 700 with anything but a 1-in-12 twist rate in 223 Remington. What happens is when you try and run something higher than a 55 grain bullet in it, it will not spin it fast enough to stabilize it. This guy was running 73 grain bullets out of this Remington bolt action. And so basically what's happening is they're coming out the barrel and they're starting to tumble. So that's why twist rate matters. Now, here's the thing. To a point, you can overcome that detriment, I guess you could say, of trying to run a heavier bullet in a slower twist. I mean, you can still run a 73 grain bullet in a 1-in-12 twist, but not with factory ammo, because you need to be pushing it a lot faster. So basically by pushing it faster, you're helping it spin quicker. So 1-in-7 shoots pretty much everything from 50 to 93. No, I'm not going to explain how 93 works, because that's hand loading and single loading. So, and it's barely in the cartridge, let's just say. So,
Well, and Mike, there's one thing people can also look at too is a lot of your bullet manufacturers like Berger, they have twist rate calculators on their site.
That's
So
what I
if
was
you've
just
got
gonna
a
show.
question, just go to the site, plug in your data, and it'll tell you if that bullet's going to stabilize or not.
So that's next on the show. Come on, computer. Do, 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 do. Come on.
Oh, Mike,
Yeah.
my model 70, 30-06,
Yep.
post 64,
Yep.
30-06. Anyway, you're telling me that I could run, it's like just a standard barrel, 112, and all that. So I can run probably 150, 165, 180 grain bullets. Now, if I want to put a 250 grain bullet in a model 70 with 1 and 12 twists, you think that might be a little bit too slow for that rifle? Or too slow for the bullet? I'm sorry.
Let's look.
Yay. We'll blame all this shit on Sharp.
So the nice thing is that they list different bullets. The problem is Berger only lists their bullets.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. You know, why would I want to
Yeah.
list my competitors? But
Well-
the closest we're going to get to 250 grain is to 245 grade Elite Hunter. So we're going to choose that.
Okay.
It's a caliber. It says 308. The weight, the length. Nice thing is it fills that all in for us. It's a 1 in 12 twist.
Mike, with your permission, I'm going to put this to full screen right now because I can't read what you've got.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Still can't read it, but I can read parts of it now. Go ahead. Please continue.
So the thing we need to know is what muzzle velocity, which it filled in a number, so I'm guessing that's what they're suggesting. For muzzle velocity is 2650 feet per second. This is at sea level, and the temperature is 59 degrees. Well, we know it's South Carolina, and we know that it's not, or North Carolina. We know it's not sea level. It's what, you probably 400 or 500 at least.
Yeah, about 450.
Yeah, 450, not 4550. So we want to put the correct altitude in, and let's say it's a nice warm summer day.
There you go.
So what we want to do, so you put all your information in here, and you hit calculate stability. And it's going to tell you.
Bingo.
It says your bullet is unstable. Bullet is unstable. Expect bad accuracy, tumbling bullets, and keyholes and targets. Now, let's say we do some wonder load, and we get that puppy moving at 3,000 feet per second.
Well, it won't be in a 30-06, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know. It's still not fast enough to make it stable.
Try 300 mag. We'll go 33. Maybe a Weatherby mag, maybe.
What are you thinking? Let's through 338. Well, see, the thing is it only lists the bullet. It does not list.
That's true.
But
I was thinking Weatherby mag velocity 3,400.
Yeah.
Bump it up to 3,400. Still didn't say it. No.
No, I gotta hit calculate stability, and then so.
Still unstable.
Yep.
So basically, what that's telling us is 1 in 12 is not fast enough for 245 grain bullet. The 245 grain Berger bullet.
Yeah. So now we dropped it down to 1 in 10.
And it says your bullet is marginally stable. I'll be darned.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Let's see here.
While you're looking that up, Mike, I know in the chat, John's hand reloading said some of the old projectile boxes used to have suggested twist rates. Some of them still do. I know Hornady does it, not on all, but I'm looking at a couple for like 338 and 30 cal. They've got the recommended twist rates, but Sierra and Berger, I don't see them on the boxes I have. So some of them are still doing that just to help people out too.
Yeah, this Hornady doesn't, but this is an older one. See about the new one.
Yeah, I've got on this picture, for this is the 225 grains. It still has the recommended twist rate of a 1 in 10. Same on the 285 grain match bullets. But then I look at the sub X and other ones and nothing.
Yeah. So there's a few, as I'm showing you, there's a few that aren't specifically for bullet manufacturers. So like this one, oh, go away. So this is from Charlin. This kind of gives you a diameter, and then it gives you your twist rate for the diameter, and then it tells you this is all specifically for their barrels, but it kind of tells you bullet weights. So like for 224, which would be the 223 Remington, 7 inches for bullets up to 90 grain. 8 is for 80, 9 is for 70, 10 is for 65, 12 is for up to 63. So, so it kind of, yeah. And Paul said 62 grain round nose. Yes, it will stabilize in a 1 in 12. So, like here we go down to the 308. So 1 in 12 is just supposed to be for up to 170. And then 1 in 10 is up to 220. That's why most of your 308 and 30-06 come in either 12 or 10. Because you're not, typically you're not shooting more than a 220. So.
Well, I think that heavier for caliper bullets is coming into play is more your, especially with that, like the 300 PRC, you can go up to 250. So you're going to have to jump up your twist rate when you start shooting the bigger stuff.
Right. 338, you're talking 8, 9, and 10 is your twist. 9 millimeter is 1 in 10 twist. 38, 357 is usually 1 in 18. It says 1 in 14 would be for the low velocity wad cutters.
I know in the chat, Paul Nelson brought up a point that I know none of us has touched on. It's not just for the heavier bullets, also the longer bullets. Yep. Because where you're seeing that is in your companies like that are making the solids, because they have to stretch those bullets out to make up for the lack of a lead core. You have to get a faster twist rate.
So this is the Omni calculator. And this has got some definitions for you. Uses the Miller twist rule for the formula. So let's just throw Jim's in there. So we want 250. Wait a minute. No, that's not it. Stupid thing. There we go. Yeah. 250.308.
And the length of it, we were talking length of the bullets, what we're talking about. And that one I would have no idea. Call it 1.25.
So length of the bullet on that 245 is 177.
Make it 1.78.
I would go 1.8 just to be on the.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, are you going to put the website in the show notes too?
Yeah. Muzzle velocity will do 3,000. Not that you can really crank a.
It was 112. Oh, you're okay. You're down to weather conditions. Call it 14.7.
I hate PSI.
Whatever. Okay, 30.00. That's millibars.
I'm going to do 29.33.
Okay. And the, one square above or one rectangle above, be sure and put in the 1 in 12 twist.
I don't know why they do it like that, but whatever.
Okay.
They must be Canadian, getting everything backwards.
Could be.
For a second, I forgot this was your screen. I'm starting trying to scroll around, can't figure out why in the hell it won't move.
Sucker. So this is a lot more information than you really need.
It's still valid, it looks like.
Right.
The green heel formula, I haven't seen that in a long time. That was when I started studying that when I first got into reloading. I believe green heel was back in the American Civil War.
Yeah, so that's one there. This is Everyday Marksman. How to find the ideal twist rate for your rifle. This is a good article here. Talks about... So it goes all the way back to the 15th century in cannons, but it was not really any sort of science. So, I mean, they just they didn't really understand. They knew that putting the rifling in there was a good thing, but they didn't really understand how and why. So, Jorgen, how did I leave you out of it? You have a computer. You're in the chat, you schmuck. All right.
That wasn't Mike. That was Chris Sharp. Blame that shit on the right guy.
I was
Morgan?
letting him go with Mike. I was like, take it.
There you go,
what
Jorgen.
is-
Blame it on that boy from Wyoming.
What is Jorgen blaming me for?
When I made the comment about when you were saying why it's backward, I was like, they must be Canadian.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. Carry on. So talking about the history of rifling and smoothbore muskets and lead balls prone to fly off, blah blah, which is why being a marksman in the Revolutionary times was a huge deal. So, because a lot of those, the Brown Bess was a smoothbore.
Enter
So.
the OG American Sniper.
Right
Wow.
there, Daniel Morgan. So anybody who has ever taken an apple seed knows about Daniel Morgan.
Yep.
And his plank. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. You have to go and do an apple seed yourself to figure it out. Or Jorgen, in your case, a maple seed. So, no, that's not a joke. There actually is a program in Canada called Maple Seed. It's based off the apple seed. So, started by some friends of mine. Because the apple seed went ballistic and decided they wanted to, they were worried about it possibly being some sort of stupid ITAR crap. So, I don't know. Anyway, long story. Doesn't matter. So, what they're talking about is Daniel Morgan's rifleman and how the early muskets started getting some rifle. So, like a Kentucky rifle literally was rifled. So, and they kind of use the same demonstration I did. Think of throwing a football without the spin, it tumbles in and end until it lands somewhere short. But if you throw a spiral on it, it goes a lot farther and a lot more accurate. So, so this article goes on more about it, and it talks about center of gravity, center of pressure, and aerodynamic torque forces, which are imparted upon it by the spinning. So, and this kind of goes through a little more of that deal, shows you. So that's an example of some keyholing. It literally looks like somebody took the bullet and slid it sideways through the target. So,
Yep.
And you don't have to be at 100 yards to get keyholing. If it's going to
Nope.
keyhole, it'll do it at 25.
I've done it at 50 feet.
Yep.
Out of 30 shooting long
Okay, so,
bullets.
Jim?
Loads, yeah.
Reaching into a box of just bullets and throwing them at the target does not count. All right?
Yeah, Mike. No, I did it with 38 special, 210 grain bullets. Right, yeah. 38
So,
special
Guys
was
say you
210
did it with a
grain.
40 short and weak there.
Oh, screw you, sharp.
So this one gives you the breakdown on RPMs equals velocity times 720 divided by twist rate. So kind of gives you an idea. So the Kentucky long rifle had a twist rate between 1 in 60 and 1 in 70.
Oh,
So like I said, they didn't really understand twist rate as a total function. They just understood that putting a twist on it was a huge deal. So basically, that lead ball wouldn't even get a full rotation coming out the barrel if you're talking a 1 in 70 twist rate, because it's 70 inches. So, and the barrels weren't quite that long. I mean, Kentucky long rifle is pretty long, but you're probably talking, 50 inches maybe max? No, not even 50.
I'm thinking 42, 48.
Yeah. I mean, the Brown Besses were a little longer, but they were smooth bores, so it didn't matter.
Right.
So, but the big thing is understanding that twist rate is important. Understanding that it makes a difference when you're choosing projectiles for loading. And what that is, and how to figure out twist rate if you don't have it stamped on the barrel, or you don't have the knowledge of what it typically was. Now, in the last 20 years or so, twist rates become a bigger deal. And so you're getting manufacturers that are actually starting to really, truly, honestly include the twist rate, not only stamped on the barrel, but in the specs. So like you could go to, a particular firearms manufacturer's website, look up the specs on that and the twist rates there, or even like a Cabela's or a Shields or, whatever the case may be, one of your Buds or Kentucky Gun Company. And part of the specs that they list actually has the twist rate, because firearms manufacturers have realized, oh, wait a minute, people want to know what this is. And I think the biggest thing that's led to that is the prominence of the AR platform, because that really does make a difference. You can't buy a 1 in 12 twist barrel if you want to shoot 62, or you want to shoot 73 or higher, even 69 grain. Because if you're using it, because they're now making 69 and 73 grain specifically designed for whitetail hunting. And if you don't know what your twist rate is, like that guy didn't, then you're kind of sorry out of luck. But so one of the key examples, huge example of why twist rate matters. Anybody ever heard of a 244 Remington?
Yep.
Not a common caliber, is it?
It is, but it isn't. It's not common today, but it used to be.
So the 244 Remington and the 243 Winchester came about the same time. Winchester put their barrels at a 1 in 10 twist. And the whole entire idea of this was a smaller platform for whitetail hunting. That was the idea behind both of these calibers. The 244 Remington, however, because Remington likes the 1 in 12 twist, came in a 1 in 12. So the 1 in 12 twist is great for your 70 and 80, 70 to 85 grain bullets. It was awesome. But there was a lot better options for varmint rifles. You weren't using that. You're not going to use a 75 or a 70 grain on a whitetail, or an 85 grain even. You want that 100, 90, 100, 105, 110 grain. So Winchester they hit the nail on the head. They had a 1 in 10 twist, 100 grain bullet, and away we go.
Mhm.
Eventually,
That's right.
they had to discontinue the 244. It just was horrible. Now, here's what they did the year after they killed the 244. They took the exact same cartridge, same projectile, same brass, same powder, same primer, everything. They relabeled it a 6mm Remington and equipped the rifle with a 1 in 9 twist. Ta-da! Success story. So, and like I said, we talked about the ARs and stuff like that. Mark 9328. Yes, we go live at 7:05 Central every week. So, but I mean, it just gives you an example of how huge twist rate is. When you pick the wrong twist rate, you really, really have problems. And Remington found that out the hard way, and it's been kind of a life lesson to all of the firearms manufacturers and ammo manufacturers that it really does. It is a huge thing. So
Just goes to show that the engineers need to have a little bit of attention instead of the accountants.
Well, that's why Remington went bankrupt twice in 2 years, because the bean counters were running the show. So, but yeah,
So, hey, Mike, I got a question for you.
yeah.
When we're talking twist rate,
Yep.
What will a faster twist rate do as far in reference to, especially when we're talking all us hand loaders and stuff, in reference to, say, pressure, wear, and strain on the bullet? And can you overspin a bullet?
Yes, you can overspin a bullet, first off.
What will happen to if you overspin? Mainly, like, say, a varmint bullet.
So typically, they come apart. Typically, the lead core will separate from the jacket. That's kind of worst case scenario. Least case is keyholing still. You can keyhole if you under rotate it or over rotate it, because either way you're destabilizing the bullet and it's not flying like it's supposed to. But typically, when you overspin it or over rotate it, as some people like to say, typically what happens then is it literally, like Jorgen said, core slipping. It literally, the lead core literally shucks the jacket, either part of it or all of it, and then that goes flying off sideways somewhere. So
I know I personally haven't had that happen, but I've seen it happen, and you'll know if it happens because you'll just see this big puff right in front of your rifle, basically.
Yeah, the frangible, like the varmint bullets or the frangibles, they literally just.
I've had it happen with my bullets made with 22 rimfire jackets.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you slammed it into a target, except for it does it in midair. I've never seen it personally, but I know there's lots of YouTube footage out there.
Just a great puff.
Yeah.
That's basically what the 224 Valkyrie was, right? What happened to them with that round?
There was a lot of things that happened 224 Valkyrie.
If I remember correctly, Nick, with early on in the 224, they were having issues with the 90 grain not feeding and other little things like that. But when they dropped it down to, I think, an 88 or 85, it kind of fixed itself.
Okay. So I remember watching Iraqi Vet 8888 doing some videos on that.
Yeah.
And they had it where a couple rounds basically delaminated and fell apart and it bore.
So twist rate, how does it affect barrel life? Is it better to go with a faster twist rate and a slower round, or a faster round and a slower twist rate? Obviously, the faster the twist, the more friction you're generating. I mean, that's the bottom line there. Just like the faster you're pushing the round,
Cranks up
the
your
more friction
pressure
you're generating.
and your wear.
So a 1 in 7 twist rate is going to wear out faster than a 1 in 12, all things equal. Now, you can't have all things equal because you can't. Well, I mean, you could theoretically, you should shoot 55 grains out of both of them. And you're going to put a lot more 55 grainers down that 1 in 12 twist than you will down the 1 in 7. The other thing is typically they're a little higher pressure load to get down the 1 in 7 because of the resistance caused by the twist rate. I mean, it's not like you specifically load that way, but some people do. But I mean, factory ammo doesn't. But some people specifically load a little hotter than they would normally because of the faster twist rate. You see it a lot more in like 308 than you do in like a 5.56, 223. But that's the one I just asked. Have a good night, Jorgen. Go find some seals or something. Michael Dunn wants to know, does a faster twist rate lead the barrel or foul the barrel more? That I don't know.
Good answer.
I've not seen any results to say one way or another. I mean, theoretically, a faster twist rate should have more fouling in it.
Yep, I agree with that. But that's just a wild guess. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's just a scientific wild guess. So, the nice thing about the Chuck Hawks is they list some of your common cartridges and the twist rates. So, like,
I think in that same article, if I remember correctly, Mike, he's even got a link to a much more in-depth twist rate chart.
Yep. So, and somebody said earlier in the chat that Chuck Hawks is not with us anymore. But so that's a sad thing because the man had an amazing source of knowledge between stuff that he collected and that he actually wrote himself. So, but
We also had another one, that gentleman from Gordon's Reloading Tool passed away here recently.
Paul Nelson said, in a good barrel, no change in fouling with a faster twist. Okay. Since he spends a lot of time playing around with a lot of stuff, I'd say he's probably a pretty good source for it. So, GGW Reloading wants to know, can a mismatched bullet to twist rate cause the bullet to do a barrel roll, so to speak? What do you mean by barrel roll?
Like in an airplane, where they literally rotate the plane in midair 360 degrees. I hate to say this, but the bullet's already barrel rolling at 180,000 RPM.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why I'm wondering what he means by barrel roll.
I'm wondering if he's talking once the projectile leaves, kind of like with the wobble, if it's gonna keep completely go that way, maybe barrel roll, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess GGW, if you can give us some clarification on what you mean by barrel roll. Are you talking like a fighter jet barrel roll? But it's just like a spiral twisting, not stay on center line. I mean, definitely it won't stay on center line, but usually they tumble more than just sliding off per se. But if what you're trying to say is here's center line. So GGW, if this is what you're trying to say, this is just the bullet again for demonstration purposes. So this is center line. What you're saying is instead of staying like this, you're saying it would go around like this. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, here's a good one.
John W. Unfortunately, the only one that actually plays with progressive barrel twists is Paul. So if he wants to weigh in on that.
From my understanding, Mike, from what I've looked into the gain twist barrels, the big reason why I've seen a lot of manufacturers not go with it, it takes a lot more work to machine those. But from what I've heard from people that have been shooting much longer than me and competitively, they say there's a lot of benefit in the gain twist barrels because it ramps up slowly to get to that right twist. And I think Paul and I have talked about it, and I know he says he really likes the gain twist, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Paul Nelson was saying it's not barrel roll, it's gyroscopic instability, and the bullet moves around the center line. So there's kind of your answer there. I guess I'm not sure on that. I guess if Paul says it happens, then he's probably seen it, but I don't know. To me, physically and physics-wise, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because you're basically talking about a bullet spiraling around the center. Kind of like, but so Paul said he loves gain twist, or some people call it progressive progressive twist. Basically, what it is say it starts out at like say a 1 in 12, and it winds up at like a 1 in 8. That's just an example. So the closer you get to the end of the barrel, the faster the twist rate. But the idea is it's not as much wear and tear on the bullet at the beginning, so you're not losing velocity for one thing. That's the idea. Is I guess I don't know what the biggest idea is of it. I don't know why the biggest thing is. My understanding is the biggest reason for it is you lose less velocity that way because it's progressive spin and it's not just all of a sudden, bam. But I don't know. Paul have to weigh in. So, I mean, back to GGW's question. I guess with physics, I mean, I guess it's possible. Kind of like, like if you remember watching Top Gun, when they launch the missile off and the missile doesn't fly straight, it kind of rolls around like this. That's what GGW is talking about. Theoretically, it's physically possible. Whether it actually happens or not, and what conditions it's under, I'm not sure. It'd have to be some weird conditions to actually rotate around the center line. But
he did stipulate that it was an understabilized bullet. You know, like a 200 grain 30 caliber bullet in a 112 twist, something like that.
Yeah.
It's just more of a hypothetical question, I think.
So So, I mean, pulse Nelson said a bolt that is off center due to twist rate, but the thing I'm trying to understand here, Paul, are you saying that it's off center and stays off center on one particular spot? Like, say you're aiming at the bullseye, and off center, by off center, you mean it's down at like 5 o'clock? Or are you saying off center as in like it rotates around the center? So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. But anyway, yeah. So Michael Dunn, how do you gain twist? Basically, as they're pulling the rifling through, it's set for a specific twist rate. Because basically, as they're pulling the rifling through, either the tooling is moving and the barrel's stable, or the barrel's moving and the tooling's stable, one of the two, however they do it. And then it's set to rotate at a certain RPM to get your twist rate. How they do progressive twist rate is change your RPMs. And it's all calculated out that, at 3 inches, it starts to rotate at this speed, and then 4 inches and 5 inches. And by the time you get down to 15 inches of barrel, it's rotating a lot faster than it was at the beginning. So you can get your twist rate faster. But that's that. So. Yeah, there's 3 different ways they do rifling. It's either cut, button, or hammer forge. So, those are the 3. So, but I'm just giving a basic example of how you would change the twist rate. So, I'm not going to go into how you would change it with cut rifling and button rifling and hammer forge. So, how about the effectiveness of a fully rifled barrel versus a rifled choke? Okay. So this shotgun style, basically a rifled choke is usually maybe about that long, max, if you get the really long ones. And it just puts a spin on the projectile as it's leaving the barrel. So I mean, you're gaining velocity theoretically, because it's only a small amount of extra friction that you have as it's hitting the last. But theoretically, you're not going to keep your stability as long because it's maybe not at the same rate. Well, it's not that it's not at the same rate, but the theory behind having a fully rifled barrel on a shotgun versus a rifled choke is it's got the spin usually a full revolution, so it's more efficient and more productive versus just the rifled choke. I mean, the rifled chokes work okay, but from my testing with a 20 gauge, 100 yards, the rifled choke is not as tight of a group as the fully rifled barrel. Anybody else play with shotguns? Bueller? Nobody?
Why are we all looking at Sharinda?
Sharinda shoots them. She does not know that much about them. There's a difference.
Michael Dunn's got a nice little comment. He pretty much coincides with your last point, Mike.
Oh yeah, I mean anybody who has a rifled choke wishes they had a fully rifled barrel. So that's why when I got this 20 gauge that I've got in the safe on a horse trade, I wasn't really bummed that they'd cut the barrel down to 18.5, because cutting it down from 18.5, originally it was 24. So, I'm losing a little bit as far as velocity goes, but I'm still way ahead of the game. and especially over shooting Foster slugs. So Gerald Fichtner said something about having 2 different rifle twist rates and then let the bullet pick its own twist. I don't know if that's possible. So I would think not, because you literally have to have, I mean, you wouldn't be able to have the rifling all at the same depth, I wouldn't think. So he said you can have 3 twist rates on the full length of a barrel overlapping each other.
That
Interesting.
sounds to be on the order of the gain twist or progressive rifling, or progressive twist. It sort of seems like it's the same thing, but again, I don't know my butt from first base about that.
I don't know. So
Harold Fichtner, if you don't mind,
explain how that works.
exactly, if you would, please explain. Please explain
Because
to us.
I can't wrap my head around how that would work on how he could theoretically pick a different twist rate. Are they different heights, or is it all the same?
I would think that the 3 different. Okay, quote. You can have 3 twist rates on the full length of the rifle of the barrel overlapping
each other.
I don't see any punctuation in it, so I'm not sure how to interpret that.
He said it's like a compound thread.
That to me sounds like if you accidentally you tap a thread quarter 20, then you accidentally don't pay attention, and you tap that same thread out, same hole out, quarter 28. So you could actually theoretically put both a quarter 20 bolt or a quarter 28 bolt down the same hole. That's what it sounds like.
Okay. I don't know. I honestly do not know anything about that. So
I think he's probably still typing.
But
well, you know what? We could actually invite him on the show and have him tell us verbally what he means.
So Paul says when he requests a grain twist barrel, he has to talk to his barrel maker, which would make sense.
I think I actually hit it.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Fichtner said that,
But
quote,
I don't.
Yep, you're correct. Who's
okay,
correct?
but your example, you're forcing it to either take a quarter 20 or forcing it to take a quarter 28. I don't understand how the bullet would choose which rifling to use.
Ah, good point.
That's what I don't get.
That's what I was kind of struggling with too, Mike, because I was thinking if it's, say a 1 in 8 twist at 1 in 12 and 1 in 10, all overlapping, is going to start, I'm getting used to this 1 in 8. All of a sudden, 1 in 12, wait, 1 in 10, and it won't properly stabilize. I mean,
yeah,
at least that's the way I'm thinking.
Right. So Spudman says he uses Brennicky slugs, which are Foster slugs, in his smoothbore. I can stack them easy at 75 yards. Yeah. I can actually do a pretty good group at 100 yards with those. My dad, however, can shoot at 150 yards with Foster slugs. So, I mean, some of it's practice, some of it's whatever. I mean, to a point, it's still kind of like, your projectile and your firearm, but so I'm guessing that's supposed to be a question, Gerald. Wouldn't it take the best pass of least resistance? I don't know. Hey, Sharenda. Rob's Rob's sending you a message. Hunt, shoot off road.
No, it's actually me. I got a clock tick. I've got clock ticking.
Oh, never mind.
Hello? What? Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah, the clock's about 36 inches from the microphone.
Gerald, I don't see how it would. He said, wouldn't it take the best passive release resistance? Well, the problem is if you've got 3 different twist rates, I don't know. I don't know how you would be able to get the bullet to distinguish. I mean, in my mind, it'd be like throwing a soft lead bullet down a Glock barrel. That's my thought. But I don't know. Maybe somebody's tried this. I don't know. Be interesting to find out.
Well, perhaps if we get the gentleman on here in person, maybe he can elaborate a whole lot better than the typing is a problem.
I think he's asking a question versus stating a fact.
Okay. Gerald, simple question, simple answer. Are you asking a question? Yes or no?
Okay, so it's just an idea. He's coming up with just a.
Thank you.
So Jacob and Zeke both said in the case, wouldn't it always go with the slower twist rate? I don't think it would be successful in following. Oh, it's a theory. So he said, no, not a question. It's a theory. Okay. From my thought in my mushed brain, it wouldn't grab it, all things being equal, every single rifling being done at the same diameter. Whatever it hit last is the twist rate it would follow. Up until then, it'd just be kind of sloppy. But you may actually rip enough of that bullet apart.
Yeah, I'm viewing if you had 3 conflicting, I think you're on the right track, Mike. Whatever that last little bit would be what it would finally go at. But up until it would be almost like a ping pong ball bouncing around, not really knowing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, literally every time it hit a different rate, it would either spin faster or spin slower. And I'm guessing if the bullets are fitting like they're supposed to be fitting, it's actually going to start ripping that jacket.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm thinking is, from a machinist's point of view, is you're actually practically making the rifle into a smooth bore because you're removing the material.
Theoretically. Like I said, it's kind of like shoving a soft lead bullet down a Glock barrel.
Yeah, exactly.
The only difference is at the end of the barrel, whatever that last inch or so, whatever rifling twist that is, it's going to grab, theoretically. If the projectile's still in one piece, which in my personal opinion, I don't think it will be. So Ken went and found the actual advantages of gain twists. He said the advantages of gain twist are 3, but he hasn't given the reference on where from yet. So I want to get him to put all 3 up and then put the reference so we can credit the source.
I know on Accurate Shooter, they did a bulletin on the gain twist from, who's it, John Carlos, who's a gunsmith, that he did a radical gain twist that started with a 1 in 14 and ended in a 1 in 6.8.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, from what he's saying, is a lot of the benefits is higher velocities while providing excellent accuracy and better stability on the bullet because it does it slow, ramps it up to where you really want it without all that extra strain on that bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that kind of makes sense, but I mean, the only one I know of that's really played with it is Paul. I haven't personally.
Uh-uh.
Well, Mr. Brown put up the 3 different comments,
Yeah.
and he's pretty much saying the same thing, Mike. We've all been saying about game twist.
Yeah. I'm waiting for him to. I hope he puts the source that he got this from too. So, said first twist being less at the breech gives less friction to the bullet, therefore it starts easier and quicker, giving the powder less time to burn on in front of the chamber. So you're gonna lessen your throat erosion, especially if you're loading like Paul does. Slight change in angle of the rifling in connection with the choke bore. Lapping choke bore of the barrel eventually shuts off any escape of gas. And third, it holds a muzzle-loaded bullet in position much better than a uniform twist. But that'd be interesting because how would you load the damn thing then? If it's a muzzle-loaded bullet. Anyway. So.
And here's his source.
From Bartline Barrels, or Bartline Barrels, pulp from Bartline. Okay. I think that's Ken that I work with at Kabila's. Anyway. So GGW said, reloading said, if you're cutting the lands at a certain height, then the twist rate would be the only thing that changes. I think we're back to our 3 twist rate question from Gerald, or theory.
So his question is,
If you're cutting the lands at a certain height, then the twist rate would only be the thing that changes. If you're cutting the twist rate for all 3 at the same,
I think he's talking about progressive twist.
Oh, okay.
Progressive twist.
Yeah, if you're doing the progressive twist, then yeah, that's all done at the same height. Like I said, basically to give you an idea and trying to really explain it how it works is when they start cutting the barrel, your cutter's turning, say, a 1 in 12 or 1 in 14 twist. So it's really slow turning. And then as you're getting more, like you get to that 4 and 5 inch spot, you speed up your RPMs, your revolutions per minute on your tool. So it's cutting that twist rate at a slightly faster rate. So now you went from, and because you're doing this all in the barrel, it stays connected. So there's no break in it. I don't really have any way to physically demonstrate this. So you're going to have to mentally picture it. But think of, okay, so think of it backwards. Like if you spin a top, okay? Except for think of it backwards. As the top starts to slow down, like say it's a top with a decoration or it's one of those hypnotist spiral things. Like if you remember back the old Scooby-Doo cartoons where they have a little spinning whirly thing. Or like on the nose cones on Messerschmitts from World War II where they had the paint. So when it spun, it would cause the spiral. So basically what they're doing is at the beginning, they're slowly spinning that tool around in your barrel. And then as you get closer to the end of the barrel, the muzzle end of the barrel, that tool is spinning faster to adjust to whatever twist rate you want it to.
Exactly.
Spudman 76 said you would think that hammer forging would be perfect for gain twist rate barrels. I don't know.
That's in the barrel making. That's something beyond our pay grade.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I honestly have never bothered to study what the difference is between the three and how they work. I'm just throwing out something to try and help understand how the progressive twist rate or the gain twist, grain twist, however you want to call it.
Mr. Nelson's got a comment up that I'd like to take a discuss for a second.
Okay.
And it was actually a clarification. Pope was the gunsmith that used a gain twist barrel in the 40s.
Is it gain
and 50s.
twist or grain twist?
Gain twist. That's a typo.
Well, no, because he's done that a couple times. So that's what I'm wondering. Because he said
sure
grain
it's a
twist a
typo.
couple times.
Paul, did you mean that as the word grain or as the word gain?
It should be gain.
That would be my thought.
GAIN. Because everything that's on the internet, I just did a quick search. It's all
Okay.
gain.
Yeah. So, in response to Spudman 76's question, too expensive the equipment for hammer forge, and then shoot off road said, how are you going to remove the bore if it's hammered around it?
That's easy. They just use a mandrel for that.
Right.
An internal mandrel.
Yeah.
With the proper rifling in it.
So I'm thinking that it would be the cut rifling would probably be the.
Yep.
So.
Thank you, Paul. He cleared it up. It was a typo.
Okay. So. Yeah, Jacob Turner says it starts at one twist and ends with another and continuously changes throughout. So. Think of it like
removing a bolt from a threaded hole.
No.
Shoot.
Think of it like either one of those coin drop things that the charities use, where you put like the quarter in, then it races around and goes down the center.
Yeah.
That otherwise there's the toilet reference, but I'm not explaining that one. Y'all can figure that one out yourselves. And for those of you in South America, in the Southland, like say Australia, you got to look at it the opposite direction. So there's a fun fact for you.
Coriolis twist.
Toilets flush in the opposite direction in Australia than they do in America. So
that's because those folks are down under.
That's right.
Okay, hunt shoot off road. You said that you can't twist out the mandrel. They have a way of doing it, sir. That's all I can tell you.
I don't know. Interesting.
Anyway, and look at this from the gentleman in Iceland.
Right. Mr. Gerald Fichtner, a theory is based on measurements, tests, and facts. Your question based on any idea trigger a very interesting discussion. Thank you. So, Ken set an example, Bartland barrel in 6.5, starts out an 1.825 and ends up at a 1.75 twist. So, at the equator, it just drops straight down, John. There's no rotation.
You're right. That's what's funny. I knew that was coming, but I've seen it on YouTube. It just drops straight down.
No rotation.
No rotation.
So anyway, Paul said Winchester was a big user of hammer forge in the late 60s, early 70s, and the model 70s. So.
Okay, we beat this horse long enough?
I think so. I think we twisted the twist out of this. And Chubby Checker just fell over.
That was a peppermint twist, and come on, everybody, let's do the twist.
No, actually, we're with Otis Day and the Knights doing the twist and shout.
Oh God, Shrenda, come on, you got to have something to say.
I got nothing. I'm trying to behave.
No, she's just trying to stay awake. Let's clarify this. So
that's not true. Well,
and damn right, it's glue. What's your problem with that? Anyway, Nelson says a hammer forge barrel has some give when completed, called release. All right, whatever.
Yeah, it's the steel springing back.
Boing! Anyway. So if you're looking for barrels with different twist weights, you can swing over to Primary Arms. They sell them. So there you go. I do not believe that they sell progressive twist rates or game twists or however you want to frickin' call it. Whatever. Anyway. So Gerald says you can cut threads across threads. In theory, yes, you can. But the difference is you are picking the threads it's following with a screw. A bullet doesn't work the same way unless you're going to put grooves on the bullet. So that's where our issue is.
The other thing is too, Gerald, what you don't realize is I've done that accidentally. You weaken the threads in the hole. You have to remove more material when you go with a finer thread. So you're removing a little bit more material. You actually weaken the hole.
Yeah. Anyway.
So the point is you're actually stripping. I was right in the first place. If you have 3 different riflings right down the same bore, you're going to remove too much material and you're going to have a smooth bore.
Right.
No. Good question.
Yep. It's a good thought in theory, but the problem is the example he's using. Mm-hmm. You're still specifically picking a specific thread pitch screw to go in your multi-thread hole. Whereas projectile is smooth. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. If I ever get stupid money, I'll have somebody do it. That's because yours is an outhouse, Rob. It's not my fault you don't have indoor plumbing.
It's not our fault. Hunt shoot.
Anyway.
Rob.
So.
Mr. Trot.
Yeah, so swing over to Primary Arms. They've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Like I said, they've got a bunch of different barrel twist rates for the AR platform and all sorts of fun stuff there. Now, I haven't gotten the February patch yet because it's only February 1st. But here is the January Patriot Patch Company patch of the month. You ain't ready for this Yeti. Rocking a 1911. Da-da-da.
That one does make me want to go buy a new cup.
Yeah.
Just to stick the sticker on it.
Yeah, but Yeti sucks, so. Anyway.
You'll like February's patch, Mike. They've got it up on their website.
Oh yeah, I've seen the pictures of it. It's pretty good. So, yeah. So appreciate our sponsors. Now Femgem's weighing in. Great. Now the other Aussie woke up. He says we have half flush here. Anyway. By the way, if you're looking for a custom knife, check out Noble Knives. He's got a page on Facebook. This is one he actually custom made for me for Christmas because we were in our Secret Santa together. But and then he also made a nice little sheath for it.
Kydex?
Yep, Kydex sheath with the clip. But yeah, hand makes. He's been doing it for a couple of years now.
Well, that handle looks like it's a folder.
No.
The way you rolled it, when you roll the blade and pointed the edge at us, it looked just like it was a folder.
Look at that.
Yep. Balance.
Very.
Good looking knife.
Yeah, amazing. So, like I said, Jared Noble Knives. He makes them. He's got a page on Facebook. So,
All I know is with Rob and Venom, they may like their toilets better, but we like all the powder we get from over there before they get it.
Wow, that was petty.
Dang right. So, at any rate,
I do have one shout out from Nathan Thomas, and I
Okay.
do have a clarification if you don't mind.
go ahead.
Nathan, if you want to use that spreadsheet, you'll have to give me a Gmail address. Just use your Gmail account. What's it?
Nobody's home.
That's not me. Somebody playing music. Anyway, Mr. Thomas, if you don't mind, send me a Gmail address, and I'll get you the link to the spreadsheet. You can still use it from Yahoo, but you can only view whatever's there.
GGW reloading. So there's a little pathway so I can actually reach the dartboard. But typically what I do is I actually just turn the camera on, aim the camera up there, and then I've got one of those Crossman single shot pistols that looks like the 1911 that shoots the little air darts, and I just shoot those up there. So that's how that works. Oh my God.
Good one, Vin Jim.
Sharenda, are you a little nervous there?
No, I wonder what the hell that knocking is.
It's not me.
Not me.
Chris?
Not me. I'm muted.
Maybe it's Nick.
Nick?
Unless it's the Earth's falling apart around here.
It must be candy at Nick's front door.
Oh, you beat me to it, Jim.
Look at them pig cheeks. Hey, they cute. For Shrender, reach over that bitch's cheek.
Like, what's your-
Nick's face is almost as red as his shirt.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's gonna hate me the rest of the night.
So, Nick, I just want to say hi to you and to Paul. Enjoy the snow, suckers. I'm not getting a danged flake here. Not one single flake.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you lucky. I got an alarm set for 4
You know
o'clock
what?
in the morning. So
Don't forget Ray.
Oh, you
Mike.
got snow too, didn't you, Sharenda?
That crap's it's on its way here now, so I'm flipping 2 birds off camera. And you know, it wouldn't be so bad if I was
Candygram for
actually able
Mongo.
to go get
Candygram for
some duck.
Mongo.
Nick, where'd you go, buddy? We ain't done harassing you.
Have
I
some,
didn't go anywhere. I'm sitting here.
have some snow. He's thinking about all that snow he's gonna have to move later.
Yeah, with a shovel. That's all I
Let's
got.
make sure Kenny goes
What?
and gets home safely.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah,
I'm
Chris
sorry.
heard it.
Now I feel bad for you. They got to move all that snow with a shovel. So, anyway,
Hey, Nick, just so you know, obviously, if Ken knows what's going on, that means Mike has shared this story at Cabela's.
actually, no, I haven't. But it kind of tunes into the podcast.
This is going to work out for my channel very well, I think.
Oh, I like that idea actually. So, anyway, anybody else shout outs? I just want to give a huge shout out to Nick and Ray. It was a blast in Vegas. Thank you guys for letting me stay in your sweet pad.
Absolutely.
It was awesome. I don't know what SHOT Show is going to look like next year. I'm hoping, knock on wood, that it's back to normal next year, and we'll see if maybe some other people can join us. So, but I don't know. I know I'm probably not going to drive out again. It was a nice drive, but not something I want to do by myself again. And definitely not in a front-wheel drive car. So, but yeah, it's kind of funny coming back on 40. I was a couple of Bugs Bunny references, Looney Tune references, because I drove through the Painted Desert, and so I immediately thought of the Looney Tunes cartoons where they're in the Painted Desert. And then coming up in Albuquerque was thinking about bugs. So that was kind of fun. And yes, I did stop and stand on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
So,
No, I'm not going to sing it.
Good.
Because Glenn would roll over in his grave.
Glenn Fry's dead?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Like a while ago.
Okay.
How long ago?
Hey, Mike, I got one up. Yeah, I've been to Lukenbach, Texas. So,
ooh, I've been through Okie, or I've been through Muskogee when we went to Dallas a couple of years ago for NRA. So,
all right, sign us off, Mike.
Anyway, yeah. So, thanks to everybody that continues to tune in. Chris and I are working hard to get caught up. I posted a few last week. Chris has got some editing, some to edit. I'm going to try and help him with that if I get time. Because it appears that Cabela's is, it's slow season, so they're not scheduling me as much. So that's nice. Yes. Holy crap. Glenn Fry's been dead 5 years already. 2016.
I did miss that one.
That sucks. Anyway, so I'll have a little more time as well. Gerald's talking about Submarine Museum, USS Batfish. I'm guessing that's down in Arizona or New Zealand or in New Mexico somewhere. I know we've got a submarine up in Manitowoc. There's a submarine in Chicago. That's the German one. So that's kind of cool to check out if you've never done it. But anyway, enough of the silliness. Make sure you keep that brass shiny.
jump on the Millsap short bus.
Shoot smarter, not harder.
Teach a lady how to reload and then share a little bit of your stash with her too.
Mustache? Excuse me. I must ask you a question.
Support the Second Amendment. Do what it takes.
And remember, if you're struggling, 1-800-273-8255. They've got trained people that will help. Remember, it's courage to reach out and ask for help, not cowardice. So everybody struggles with something. Some people wind up they've gone through some more stuff in life and they struggle through more and they need some help. So make sure you keep that number handy, 1-800-273-8255. And good night.